Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. You're in my kitchen today, so welcome in, welcome in. We are going to do hashtag Slow Cooker Palooza. This is an open collaboration hosted by Blackberry Rock Homestead and Luann's Kitchen. So thank you, Miss Luann, for thinking up this wonderful collaboration. It ends on December the 30th. It is open. If you're interested, jump on in. So let's get in the kitchen and let's see what we're going to be doing today. I am rushed for time for supper. I've got so much work to do. I really don't have time to focus on cooking a full meal, but I want something hearty for my husband when he gets home from work. So I have gone into my canning pantry, y'all. I have pulled some ugly chicken. This ugly chicken is from October of 2021. It's still good. It's still sealed. We're going to have that for supper. But if you don't have that on hand, you don't have any chicken already cooked in the refrigerator, you can always pull out some canned chicken out of your pantry. So just remember that. Don't have chicken, use hamburger meat. Use what you have. I also pulled out some canned carrots and some store-bought canned peas, and I'm going to use those in my crock pot. And I pulled out some artichoke hearts. I thought, well, this would be interesting to add to a meal. So I'm going to drain those and rinse them off and get them in the crock pot as well. And I have pulled out some wild rice. This is a wild rice blend. It is organic. I get this through Azure Standard. I will put a link to this in the description box below if you're interested in this product. I'm going to cook this separate because I don't like the way rice looks after it comes out of a crock pot. So we're going to use this as a bed for what we have cooking in the crock pot today. And I have pulled out some soup greens. Of course, this is dehydrated vegetables. You can use fresh vegetables or fresh herbs if you have it. And my last ingredient will be chicken base, chicken stock. So y'all get the idea. So let's get this put together, and it will be ready by the time my husband gets home from work. All right, I've already rinsed and drained the artichoke hearts because it was marinated. And I'm just going to drop them into the crock pot. I'll show you what it looks like in just a moment. Home canned carrots, I'm leaving the liquid on this because we know that this liquid is safe for us to consume. And then my last ingredient before I put the chicken in there are canned peas. Now these are low sodium peas, but you can use whatever vegetables you have handy, even fresh if you have the time. I do rinse these. So they're going into the crock pot. And now we're going to get into the chicken. And this is going to be kind of messy because it's got its own broth in there. But I do take it out and I take the skin off and I debone the chicken. So it just falls off the bone, literally. And I'm just going to tear it off in chunks. And I hope I don't have any bones in here. I always look for that little splinter bone because when you can it, part of it dissolves. So it's there. I'm going to put that to the side. And now I know I can go ahead and pull the rest of this meat off and not have to worry about it. And then I'm going to use the broth that's in this jar as well. So again, I'm taking off the skin because we don't really need it. I do it with the skin on when I can it because you get all that good broth off of it. And I didn't see the little bone, so I'm going to have to go back and look. And I found it. Found my little bone. And I also make sure that I have no bones when I'm doing the thighs too, because sometimes when you get them from the store, they'll leave part of the breast on there with those little tiny bones, or the tail, and I don't like eating the tail either, so we take that off. That's the skin. So I'm just getting all the meat off of this. That's a bone. And it's messy, y'all. I'm not going to lie. That's why I'm holding it over the crock pot. It is messy. So I'm just making sure there's no bone in there. And legs and thighs used to be the cheap meat in the store. I don't think it is anymore. But I don't think there's any cheap meat in the store anymore. So I'm happy that we have this on our pantry shelf. And I just have a little bit of meat and fat at the bottom of the jar. Alrighty, let me wash my hands. So this is all I've put in the crock pot so far. I am going to put in some of the soup greens and a little bit of the chicken broth. But I'm also putting the soup greens and the chicken broth in with my wild rice. Alright, soup greens. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of soup greens to this. It's got all the onions and peppers and all that good stuff in there. It looks really, really yummy and smells delicious. So I'm just going to add a couple of tablespoons of this. It's going to add a nice flavor. It's got onion and all the good ingredients in it already. And I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of that base. And I'm going to put my lid on it. Now, because I'm rushed for time, I'm going to set this on high, but you could cook this all day on low. And we'll be back when it's ready. Alright, it has come up to a boil, and I have reduced my temperature. I actually put more liquid than I should have, but it will absorb the liquid over the next 45 minutes. I'm fairly certain of that. And I'm just going to cover it, and I'm going to watch my pot to make sure that it is not running out of liquid anytime soon. So about 45 minutes I should have my wild rice ready, and my crock pot is going with the chicken mixture in it. Okay, this is hot. It's not all it needed was to heat through. But I thought, well, you know, I've got some arrowroot and I've got cornstarch. You can interchange and use either or. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a slurry. And to thicken up the broth in here and make it into more of a creamy topping on our rice. So I'm just going to get some arrowroot and water, cold water. And I'm going to give that a little stir. And I'm going to pull my crock pot out where you can see it. Make sure I've got all of that mixed up. And while this is in the crock pot, this is going to thicken up into a nice broth. So that's all I'm going to do to it. Doesn't that look amazing, y'all? I'm going to let that cook for a few more minutes and we'll be back. So it's been about 45 minutes. Let's take a look. Go ahead and turn that burner off. Oh yes, folks, this looks so yummy. Can you see all those colors in there? It smells amazing. And I'm glad I put the extra liquid in there. I'm going to give a taste test. It's the perfect al dente for rice. It has a little bit of a crunch. And it's good because I can heat this back up. All I have to do is add a little bit of water to the pan to warm it back up. Y'all, it's made a nice gravy. Oh, this looks so yummy. Let's do a little taste test. To see this, it is so yummy. I didn't put it on top for the taste test. But the rice has got just enough vegetables and the chicken flavor in it. I didn't need any extra salt. This is delicious. And so I'm just going to take a bite. This is going to be the perfect comfort food for a cold, chilly night. Thank you, friends, for watching, and I wanted to let you know again that this is hashtag Slow Cooker Palooza, hosted by Blackberry Rock Homestead and Luann's Kitchen. It is an open collaboration. Will be open until the end of December, and y'all jump on board. We all got crock pot recipes that we love, so why not participate in this one? May you be fully blessed.